What I am about to share with you might feel unsettling at first, a quiet hum of dissonance beneath the surface of your everyday life. But I urge you, if you are over the age of 60, to grant me your attention, because this October, a current is shifting. A deep and powerful tide is turning, and the vast majority of people, especially our most experienced generation, are simply not prepared for its arrival. Now, before you dismiss this as just another piece of motivational fluff or a forecast of doom, I ask you to pause, just for a few moments. What I am going to lay out is not about fear, it is about foresight. The insights within this discussion could very well represent the stark difference between being a pillar of strength in the coming months and being caught completely, devastatingly off guard. The window of opportunity to prepare is narrowing, and the unvarnished truth is that very few voices are willing to tell you what is truly unfolding beneath the noise of our daily headlines. I am going to guide you through 4 fundamental ways you must begin to prepare and protect yourself starting today. The 4th insight, the final piece of this puzzle, is arguably the most crucial, so I implore you to stay with me through this entire journey. You see, it is no coincidence that you are hearing this message right now. Among the millions of pieces of content vying for your attention, you landed here. That is not an accident, it is an appointment. But before we delve deeper, I want to create a sense of our shared space. In the comments below, please tell me, what city or state are you watching this from? I want to see a tapestry of seniors from across America and the world connecting, because the changes that are coming will not be confined to a single neighborhood or a specific region. They are universal. And as you do that, please consider hitting the like button. Your simple click helps this message find its way to other seniors who need to hear it most. This might be the most important guidance they receive this month. Finally, subscribe and activate the notification bell, because after this October, the truths we discuss today will become more vital than ever before. October is not merely another month on the calendar. It is a fulcrum, a point of convergence where immense pressures are meeting. Economically, technologically, spiritually, and socially, a confluence of forces is underway. The systems that we once perceived as bedrock, as unshakably stable, are revealing their fragility. You can feel it in the subtle tremors of the economy, in the discordant notes of our political discourse, in the very mood of the global community. But it is what comes next, the phase that follows these initial tremors, that almost no one is truly equipped to handle. Every word I share is a stepping stone to the next. If you miss a single idea, the full picture may remain obscured. I will explain precisely what is coming and how to insulate yourself from the fallout, but that requires a foundation of understanding first. Let me pose a question that may resonate with you. Have you noticed how everything seems to be accelerating lately? The pace of technological innovation, the volatility of prices at the grocery store, the pervasive sense of uncertainty. It all feels as though it's moving at a speed that outpaces our ability to keep up. Here is the stark reality that has not been communicated to our senior population. The velocity of change has now officially surpassed the velocity of human adaptation. What this means, in practical terms, is that unless you make specific and intentional mental and practical shifts immediately, you will forever be in a state of reaction rather than preparation. You will be playing catch-up in a game where the rules are changing by the minute. For decades, I have dedicated myself not to following the fleeting headlines, but to observing the deep underlying patterns of history and human behavior. The very same patterns that have historically signaled profound disruption are now visible everywhere, hiding in plain sight. But this realization should not inspire fear. Instead, it should bring you a profound sense of clarity, and clarity is the ultimate form of power. I will provide you with 4 pillars of wisdom throughout our time together. This is not the recycled advice you hear on the evening news. These are insights designed to genuinely prepare and protect you for the road ahead. Let us begin with the first pillar of wisdom, the very foundation of your preparation. You must learn to anticipate the invisible shifts. Most people prepare for the dangers they can see, the hurricane on the radar, the stock market crash on the television screen. But the most significant changes coalescing this October are not visible to the naked eye. They are structural. They are the invisible alterations happening deep beneath the surface, within our energy grids, our financial plumbing, our data networks, and even in the automated decisions being made by unseen algorithms that now govern so much of our lives. If your strategy is to simply react to what makes the front page news, you will perpetually be one step behind. The individuals and families who thrive in times of transition are those who anticipate the invisible patterns, those who learn to see the direction of the wind before the trees begin to bend. Here is what I mean, illustrated with a more tangible image. Picture a massive dam holding back a vast reservoir. On the surface, the water is calm, families are having picnics on the shore, and everything appears serene. But deep below the waterline, an engineer has spotted a hairline fracture in the concrete. No one on the surface can see it. No one can hear the groan of the immense pressure building against that single point of weakness. Every second, that hidden pressure intensifies. By the time the fracture gives way and water begins to burst through, it is far too late to reinforce the foundation. This October represents that period of hidden, intensifying pressure. The signals are quiet, but for those who are listening, they are growing undeniably stronger. If you have been feeling a sense of unease that you can't quite put your finger on, I want you to share that feeling in the comments. Just type, "I've felt it." You are not alone, and acknowledging that intuition is the first step. Therefore, your first action is not to panic, it is to observe. Dedicate just 10 minutes each day, perhaps in the quiet of the morning, to consciously analyze what feels slightly off in your personal world. What doesn't quite align with how things were a year ago? What is quietly changing while everyone else is mindlessly scrolling through their social media feeds? You can write these observations in a simple journal. This is not about becoming a diarist. It is about cultivating a state of active awareness. I have seen individuals use this simple practice to transform a state of overwhelming confusion into one of serene calm within a matter of weeks, all because they finally started to see the patterns that everyone else was conditioned to ignore. The first wisdom is to see before others do. The future belongs to those who prepare before they are forced to panic. Why am I so adamant about sharing this with you? Because a quiet tragedy is unfolding. Too many people, especially those in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, are being silently left behind. The truth is, our modern society no longer prioritizes warning our elders. It prioritizes distracting them. But you deserve clarity, not confusion. You have earned the right to understand the world you live in. In this conversation, we are building that clarity together. You will inevitably hear well-meaning friends or family members say, "Oh, don't worry, everything will be fine." But that sentiment, while comforting, is perhaps the most dangerous mindset one can adopt right now. True faith is not a denial of reality. True faith is preparation guided by wisdom. This is why I believe that prayer, reflection, and awareness must go hand in hand. Ask for vision, not just for comfort, because comfort without direction is a path that leads to collapse. So, ask yourself this evening, what invisible shifts might already be happening in my finances, my health, or my community that I have conveniently ignored? I want you to comment below with one simple phrase. Be honest with yourself and with this community. Are you preparing early, or are you waiting to see? Your choice could influence someone else on the fence. And remember, if you found this first pillar of wisdom to be powerful, wait until you hear the next. It addresses the very battlefield on which the future will be won or lost. The world that is emerging will require you to make decisions you have never had to make before. This is not a message intended to cause fear. It is a message intended to deliver truth, and truth, when acted upon, becomes your greatest protection. If you are still with me, I want to acknowledge you. You are already far ahead of the curve. While millions scroll past anything that requires more than a moment of thought, you have chosen to listen. That single decision demonstrates a belief that knowledge can indeed protect you. Earlier, I spoke of anticipating the invisible shifts in the world around you. Now we must go deeper, into something even more urgent, something few people are brave enough to discuss openly. There is another pattern forming right now, one that is already shaping critical decisions behind closed doors, and unless you understand it, it will silently and irrevocably shape your future for you. Do not skip what I am about to say. Every detail connects. If you leave midway, you will miss the thread that ties everything together, and without that connection, you will not grasp what is truly happening. The second pillar of wisdom is this: you must protect your mental bandwidth. I encourage you to write that down. Most people, when they think of preparation, think in physical or financial terms, stockpiling goods, saving money. But they completely ignore the one domain that is currently under a relentless strategic assault: their attention. Every hidden system that is shifting right now, from the financial markets to the media landscape, from political campaigns to technological rollouts, relies on one crucial element for its success: your distraction. The truth is, the phenomenon of information overload is no longer an accidental byproduct of the digital age. It is an engineered feature. The more distracted you become, the more fragmented your focus, the less capable you are of recognizing the truth when it is presented to you. It is a simple but brutal equation. Consumption of noise depletes the capacity for critical thought. Have you felt your ability to concentrate on a book or a long conversation diminish over the past few years? If so, comment, "My focus has changed." Let's see how many of us are experiencing this silent erosion. Right now, hundreds of millions of seniors across the nation are being silently drained. The resource being siphoned is not their money, at least not directly. It is not their time, though that is part of it. The primary resource being extracted is their focus. Think about your own day. How much of your precious attention is stolen by noise you never asked for? Headlines crafted to provoke an immediate emotional reaction of fear or outrage. Notifications on your phone that relentlessly interrupt moments of peace. Conversations and news segments designed not to inform, but to divide. The goal is no longer to keep you informed, it is to keep you consumed. This October, the battle for your focus will intensify dramatically. New systems are being tested, unseen platforms and algorithms that depend entirely on how distracted and therefore how malleable the population becomes. This is why your second and most urgent act of preparation is to protect your mental bandwidth as if your life depends on it, because in the near future, it just might. I have spoken in interviews about the dangers of what is known as algorithmic conditioning. These are complex systems, a form of artificial intelligence, that learn from what captures and holds your attention. They then amplify those very things, not to enlighten you, but to control your perception. What you see on your computer screen or your phone is not a random feed of information. It is a carefully curated mirror, reflecting back at you only the things that they have trained you to click on, not the things you actually need to know. So I ask you to take a moment and answer this question honestly in the comments. Who is deciding what you believe today? Is it I decide what I believe, or is it they decide for me? Your honesty could be a profound wake-up call for someone else reading this. Here is the frightening truth that underpins this entire concept. When a society loses control of its collective attention, it loses control of its direction, and that is precisely the hidden pattern most are failing to see. This October, the world is not so much collapsing as it is being reprogrammed, quietly, efficiently, and almost invisibly. I recently had a conversation with a retired engineer from Michigan, a brilliant and thoughtful man named David. He told me, "I feel like I'm losing control of what I think about. It's like the world tells me what to be angry about in the morning, what to fear in the afternoon, and what to forget by evening." I shared with him the same insight I am sharing with you now. That feeling is not a sign of confusion or aging. It is the feeling of interference. If you have been feeling mentally exhausted lately, unable to think clearly, constantly overwhelmed by a low-grade anxiety, it is not your age. It is the system working as designed, keeping you too fatigued to notice the foundational shifts happening right beneath your feet. That is why this message found its way to you now. Because once you see this pattern of engineered distraction, you can never unsee it. And here is how you begin to reclaim your control. Each morning, before you consume a single headline, before you open a single email or turn on the television, take 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Sit with a simple notebook and write down your own thoughts first. What is on your mind? What are you grateful for? What is your primary intention for the day? This seemingly small act is a revolutionary one. The act of thinking before consuming creates a crucial buffer zone between potential manipulation and your own conscious awareness. And awareness is the very essence of freedom. Please remember this. Protecting your mind is protecting your destiny, because whoever controls your attention ultimately controls your life. So, if the first wisdom taught you to see before others do, this second wisdom teaches you to think before others decide for you. When was the last time you paused long enough to truly, deeply think without interruption? Comment below. Your answer may help someone else realize what they have been missing. A silent agreement exists between distraction and decline. When people stop paying attention, they stop preparing. That is why this moment is so critical. Stay focused, stay aware, because the ones who stay awake now will be the lighthouses when everyone else wakes up in the storm. Listen carefully, because what I am about to share might sound deceptively simple at first, but it contains one of the most profound and overlooked truths about what is unfolding this month. The third pillar of wisdom for your preparation is this: you must discern the silent shift in your season before it becomes visible to the rest of the world. Right now, all across this country, from the coasts of California to the quiet towns of New England, millions are feeling something stir within them. It is a quiet unease, a deep inner knowing that the ground beneath their feet is changing, but they cannot quite articulate what it is. Have you felt it lately? That subtle pull, that inner nudge from your intuition that whispers, something is off, something is about to change. If that resonates with you, I want you to type in the comments right now, "I can feel it," or "something is shifting." Your acknowledgement validates this shared intuition. Here is the truth that history teaches us time and time again. Those who ignore these silent internal shifts are always the ones caught completely off guard when the visible storms finally begin. Every major turning point in human history, every world-altering event begins quietly. It does not start with the chaos and the noise you see on television. It starts with a subtle alignment of forces beneath the surface. The patterns begin to form where few are looking. The wise feel it in their spirit early. The unprepared only see it when it is too late to do anything but react. The reason most people miss this crucial early stage is because they have been trained their entire lives to react to external events, not to discern internal and environmental patterns. But this October is not a month for reaction. It is a month that demands divine discernment. It is a period where unseen forces are moving faster than visible human-made plans. Think about it. All around the globe, established systems are shifting. Leaders are making unexpected decisions that seem to come out of nowhere. Financial markets are quietly repositioning capital in ways that defy conventional analysis. Technologies are advancing at a pace that is far beyond public comprehension. But while everyone is mesmerized and distracted by the noisy spectacle of it all, a hidden recalibration is taking place. And the deepest truth is that this recalibration does not begin outside of you. It begins within you. So I will ask you a genuine question, and I want you to reflect on it. What small, quiet changes have been happening in your immediate environment, your relationships, your health, your finances, that you have been brushing off as insignificant? Often, that nothing is the first sign of a significant movement. If this is speaking to you, take a moment to comment below. I am watching the hidden patterns. Listen closely to this next part. When seasons shift in the spiritual and energetic sense, they first affect timing. Things that used to come to you with ease may suddenly begin to meet with resistance. People who once walked beside you in perfect sync may begin to drift away. Doors of opportunity that used to swing open effortlessly may now seem firmly closed. This is not rejection. It is redirection. But here is where it becomes critically serious. If you ignore that divine redirection, if you keep trying to force open the doors that are meant to close, life will eventually force you into a reset that is far more jarring and painful than a willing pivot. This is precisely why this message had to find you now. This is a season where many of our seniors, those who have carried lifetimes of wisdom, are being called not to retire, but to reposition. You are not at the end of your journey. You are standing at the threshold of your next and perhaps most important assignment. But to cross that threshold, you must prepare differently. The old pace of life will no longer work. The old mindset cannot sustain you where you are going. This is a time to simplify, to refocus, and to align your precious energy only with what truly matters. This is a time to prune the branches that no longer bear fruit in your life. I can't stress this enough. Those who prepare with intention during this season will rise above the coming storm. Those who continue to drift in distraction will be swept away by its current. I want you to think deeply. What is one area of your life that has been whispering for change, but you have been steadfastly ignoring it? Is it your health, your faith, your finances, your key relationships? Acknowledge it in the comments, because what you acknowledge becomes something you can transform. Let me tell you what is hidden, what no one is talking about. In the coming days and months, many will come to the painful realization that they have been living on expired instructions, following old patterns that no longer match the new frequency of this season. That is why confusion and anxiety are rising globally. People are trying to use old maps to navigate entirely new territories. But the ones who discern early, the ones who watch, listen, and realign, they will find a supernatural acceleration in their lives, even as others are facing frustrating delays. The patterns are visible only to those who are still enough to see beyond the noise. You must stay with me until the end of this message, because what I am about to reveal next will show you precisely why this silent transition is happening, who it will affect the most, and the one thing you must do right now to protect yourself and your family. Time is moving far faster than it appears. Every day you delay discernment, you lose precious alignment. There is a hidden truth that has been deliberately kept from millions of people.
It has not been obscured by chance, but by design. In a moment, I will expose that truth, the one that could fundamentally change how you see everything that is happening in the world this month. So please stay with me, because this fourth and final pillar of wisdom is the most important of them all. The fourth preparation wisdom is this: there is an unseen exchange of power taking place right now, and only those who are spiritually and mentally awake will navigate it unshaken. I want you to pause for a moment and truly let that sink in. Across nations, across industries, and deep within the human heart, something invisible is being fundamentally restructured. The world you grew up in, the one whose rules you learned and understood, is quietly being dismantled and reassembled, but not in the way the news is telling you. What is truly happening is not merely economic or political, it is positional. A hidden system of power, built on decisions made in secret and choices designed to reshape human behavior, values, and priorities, is unfolding in plain sight, yet most people are too distracted to notice. The constant noise, the manufactured fear, the endless confusion, all of it serves as the perfect camouflage for this deeper realignment. Have you noticed how everything that once felt certain and solid now feels unstable and fluid? Have you felt how even time itself seems to be moving faster, as if some unseen force is pushing life toward a critical breaking point? If you have felt that acceleration, that sense that the pace of life is becoming unsustainable, type in the comments right now, "Time is moving faster." You are not imagining it. What is coming is a convergence, a moment where everything that has been hidden will begin to surface. In that moment, those who are prepared internally, those who have anchored themselves in truth and awareness, will stand firm while others collapse, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And here is the truth that absolutely no one is telling you. The greatest danger you face is not what is happening around you. It is what is happening to you while you are not paying attention. This October marks the beginning of a wave of decisions, quiet and strategic at first, that will test your discernment like never before. Some of what is being planned behind the scenes will be presented to you as progress, as innovation, as a new form of convenience or security. But it will carry with it an unseen cost, a cost to your personal freedom, a cost to objective truth, and a cost to your focus. This is why I am urging you, as someone who genuinely cares about your well-being, do not drift into passivity. Protect your focus, guard your peace, reclaim your time. You see, what they do not want you to know is that the real war of the future is not fought with armies and weapons. It is fought for the territory of your mind. It is fought with attention. Whoever controls your attention controls your direction, your choices, and ultimately your destiny. This is the reason you have been feeling so drained lately, so easily distracted, so emotionally exhausted. It is not a random occurrence. It is a strategic outcome. There is a deliberate effort to keep you too tired to think, too busy to notice, and too distracted to prepare. But you were built to rise above that fog. If this message is resonating deep within you, type in the comments, "I am taking back my focus." Let this be your declaration. This is not a time for passive reaction. It is a time for wise, intentional response. You must prepare your mind daily. Every single morning this month, before you do anything else, take out that simple notebook. Write down what truly matters to you. Define who you will serve and what you will no longer allow to control your precious attention. That single act of intention will separate you from the masses who are being silently programmed for confusion. And hear this with perfect clarity. Those who prepare intentionally in this short window of time will become pillars of stability when instability becomes the new normal. But this window is closing. What is about to happen will catch many good, hard-working people completely off guard.
Systems you have trusted your entire life may fail, even if only temporarily. Networks of information may shift. Voices that once seemed to be guiding you may suddenly go silent. You will begin to see global patterns align in ways that appear coincidental, but are, in fact, deeply calculated. And here is the most frightening part. The majority of the population will not realize the significance of it all until it is far too late to respond effectively. That is why time is running out. This is why I had to speak now, not to create fear, but to awaken a powerful and protective awareness. While the world is distracted by the shadows on the wall, a quiet exchange is taking place, an exchange of influence, trust, and truth. And when the dust finally settles, those who were asleep will wake up and wonder how everything changed overnight. But not you. You were warned. You were prepared. You saw it before it happened. Let me ask you, as we draw to a close, what will you do differently after hearing this? What one area of your life are you taking back control of, starting today? Comment below so that others can draw strength from your commitment. If you agree with what has been shared, comment, "I will not be distracted," or "I choose to prepare." Awareness with action changes nothing. Preparation is not fear. It is the highest form of wisdom. There is more happening beneath the surface this October than anyone in the mainstream is willing to admit. Patterns are aligning, doors are closing, and choices are being tested. In the weeks ahead, you will begin to see confirmations of everything I have said. But when that happens, do not panic. Remember what you have heard today. Remember that this message found you for a reason. Before you go, I want you to do two final things. First, please like this video so that its message can reach more seniors who desperately need this perspective before it is too late. Your single action could help open their eyes. Second, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because what I will share next will reveal an even deeper layer of this truth, the part they are working so hard to hide. I am sharing this because I care, because I could not remain silent knowing what is unfolding. You deserve to know the truth. You deserve to be prepared. You deserve to walk in peace while others walk in confusion. Stay alert, stay grounded, and remember, those who see early stand strong. This is your wake-up call. Time is almost gone, but it is not gone yet. The next message will pull back the curtain even further. Stay with me. I will see you in the next one.